This is the MLW Radio Network.
And now, Foundation Radio presents Carl Pennell in Nature, Episode 1, Carl Finds a Snake.
Ah! Can we talk about this shit right now? Can we seriously talk about this shit? What the fuck is this shit? How the fuck am I supposed to get this shit out of my fucking house? What the... What? Ah!
Thanks for joining us on today's episode of Carl Pennell in Nature.
This is the Mind of the Meanie. Here are your hosts, the Blue Meanie and Adam Barnard.
Peace, world, and welcome everybody to the Mind of the Meanie, your weekly peek into the world, according to former WWE superstar and ECW original, the Blue Meanie. We'll cover wrestling, music, movies, sports, and lots of useless knowledge, all contained in the Mind of the Meanie. I'm your tour guide, Adam Barnard, and he is the Blue Meanie. Meanie, what's on your mind?
My mind is ready, willing, and able to ask for Ask Meanie, a full Ask Meanie anything.
I guess I should cue it up then. Meanie.
Yes, sir.
Are you ready to ask Meanie?
I would love to. It's time to ask Meanie anything. Ask me something.
This episode here is a full, shart-filled episode of Ask Meanie Anything. Every question you'd like to know and want to ask the Blue Meanie, today's the day. Ask Meanie anything for. First of all, I want to give a shout out to the Pod Squad here. Pod Squad, thank you so much for joining us on another delightful
Our ride or
edition
die
of the program. We're going to get started here with the first question. Andy Schlichter, member of the Pod Squad, wants to know what wrestling venue would you like to wrestle in again, and what venue that you would like to wrestle in that you never had the chance to?
Oh, well, number one, the venue I've always wanted to wrestle in and I never got to wrestle in was the Philadelphia Spectrum.
Oh, man.
Yeah, and that's somebody who got an opportunity to actually wrestle in Madison Square Garden. So, I got to work in some really cool buildings. Rosemont Horizon, the Cow Palace, Madison Square Garden, ECW Arena, of course. Probably one of the coolest, just from a setup standpoint, in Altoona, Pennsylvania, the Jaffa Mosque was always a really cool venue. Just the way the seating was set up, the way the ring was done, it felt special, felt unique. ECW Arena will always be, special to me, but if I had to eliminate ECW Arena, Jaffa Mosque in Altoona, Pennsylvania. I would have loved to have worked the Sportatorium in Dallas, even though I heard it was like ECW Arena South. Definitely would have liked to have worked there in front of that crowd that I watched every week just to get a new perspective. It's one thing when you watch wrestling on TV, and then you get to actually work in the building you've watched all your life and see it from a totally different, perspective that, the camera lenses, don't catch on TV. It's kind of like when I'm playing MLB The Show and I'm playing baseball and you can zoom around and see parts of different stadiums that you wouldn't have recognized otherwise because you're just so used to certain camera angles and spots like that. Same with wrestling, Wrestling at the Garden, you're used to seeing that cool looking ceiling, the Baltimore Civic Arena, you're used to seeing that stage in the background, where, some of the boys would be hanging out and stuff like that. But yeah, I would have loved to have worked the Philadelphia Spectrum because, not only, am I, unapologetically, a Philly guy. I love the Spectrum. I went to concerts at the Spectrum. The cool thing, I got to go to the thing where they let you loot the Spectrum, where $20 you go down and wherever you can carry out, it's yours. So I got 4 Spectrum seats in my house.
Really?
Yeah, I got. I found 4 Spectrum chairs, and it's like fuck. Whatever you can carry up that ramp, right?
Yeah.
So I was like, man, how am I going to get these up the fucking ramp? I found an office chair. So I put them on the office chair and wheeled them up the fucking ramp. So not only do I have 4 Philadelphia Spectrum chairs, but Mrs. Meanie uses the office chair for her little office portion of it in the house. But yeah, and I went to the thing where you get to loot the Spectrum with Bay Ragney. Shout out to Bay Ragney, who was Chubby Dudley in ECW. And we're standing in the middle of the Spectrum on the floor. And I was like, quick, let's just lock up. And we stood there and we fucking locked up to say, okay, we worked the Spectrum.
So
let's run some spots.
The untelevised match between the Blue Meanie and Chubby Dudley at the Spectrum.
Yeah.
Who went
dark
over?
blue match.
Who the fuck went
Yeah.
over?
Yeah. We both won.
Of course.
Because we got to lock up in the Spectrum. But very cool.
Yeah.
Very cool. Yeah, but I'd love to go back to the Jaffa Mosque. I'm trying to think of other historic buildings that are out there that have wrestling that I haven't been to, but yeah, Jaffa Mosque is not only is a visually cool looking building, but the inside is really cool too. I got to do a 6-man tag there. It was me, Nova, and Balls Mahoney versus the Dudleys.
Wow.
And one of the few times we got to work the Dudleys a couple times, but
now was it Bubba
What's
Devon and Spike?
Bubba Devon and I believe Big Dick. Maybe.
Oh, okay.
And this is a little inside baseball back. On certain road trips when like a ring announcer couldn't make it, Judge Jeff Jones was the ring announcer behind the curtain, and I kind of wish I fed Jeff Jones the line, after he introduces me, Mahoney, and Nova, to call us Team Super Blue Balls. I'm like, fuck. But later on, me and Mahoney went to team on those ECW Extreme Reunion shows or Extreme Rising shows as Team Blue Balls.
That's great.
So, yeah, it was great. But, yeah, Jaffa Ma, and maybe because I was just listening to Mike Chioda's mailbag on ad-free shows the other night, and he was talking about, they were asking him buildings that were hard to set up with. He said Jaffa Mosque. I went, that was actually a really good building to run. So I would have to pick that.
Adam from Downingtown wants to know, before we get moving here, have you do you keep in contact with Spike Dudley? He's someone that hasn't really done a ton of interviews or appearances since he's retired. Have you heard anything or keep in contact with little Spike Dudley?
I see Spike now and then, and he's living the life, man. He's not only an incredibly talented guy, incredibly tough guy. All the shit he did, in ECW, all the shit he did in WWE, but he was also a school teacher. He was in, if you watch Beyond the Mat, they have him quoting Shakespeare.
Yeah.
And he looks good. He's aged gracefully. He looks great. He seems to be having a great life. I'm happy for him. I'm happy for anybody who can, break through to the other side of the business and do well.
Yeah.
I'm happy for anybody who can do well in the business, but, some people, Bret Hart had the perfect analogy that like leaving wrestling is kind of like leaving Shawshank. Brooks was here, when Brooks goes out, leaves, gets paroled. He doesn't know how to fit in society where he's always, asking permission to go to the bathroom and this, that, and the other thing. And you say, what, fuck it. And, we know the rest, but, when somebody can, move on from the wrestling business and have a normal life and be productive, I'm always happy for those guys because it is hard.
Yeah.
And it's not a knock against those who struggle, but it is hard to get used to life because, you go out there and you get a job and people automatically assume that, once you're in wrestling and once you're on TV, you're a millionaire. And that's not the case. When you get into the wrestling business, whether you're making $1 million or making $120,000 a year, 50% of that's going to the government.
Right.
Taxes, your federal tax, the state you live in, and every state you wrestled in. They send you a 1099 every year.
Jeez.
And then on top of that, expenses, rental car, food, hotel, they cover the airfare. If you're lucky enough to get a TV deal, sometimes they'll cover the hotel and you stay at the TV hotel.
Yeah.
But, and then, on top of that, say you make six figures, say you make 120 grand. Eventually, that whittles down to maybe, 50 grand. Then you got, living expenses back home, rent,
Right.
gas, electric, phone, all that stuff. So you're like, Jesus Christ, it's crazy, but, I know we were talking about Spike Dudley, but
No, it's okay.
yeah, it's cool to see. Oh, well, and then the movie, the wrestler depicted it great. You have Randy Rams working the deli counter.
Yeah.
And the guy recognized him, goes, I thought that was you, but, you're older now, or whatever he says to jam his thumb into the meat slicer. But, I'm happy for him. Spike's doing good. Spike
was always one of my favorites to watch, during that time. Dude, after, ECW and then in WWE. I mean, that dude took some serious fucking bumps, man.
He came from, I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, I'm sorry. I was just thinking, if you want to go back and watch any of that stuff, I mean, go load up the cock and check out any of Spike Dudley's matches. I mean, that dude is just a bumping fucking machine. I caught you on that one, didn't you?
Yeah, almost the fucking spit take.
No, I mean, I just remember watching and being like, how the fuck is this dude still walking? I mean, he took that pile or the power bomb from the Undertaker. I thought he killed him.
Yeah.
And then he's out there fighting Brock Lesnar. Brock Lesnar's throwing him the fuck around. I'm like, holy shit. This guy can fucking go. So
he did things the right way. He came in the ECW.
Yeah.
The right way. He was from California. He was part of Roland Alexander's APW. Came out to Philly or ECW, and I remember the first night I met him. ECW is, who's this guy dressed like a Dudley? I had no idea that. That's the beauty of ECW. There's like no starting this week in ECW. Like there's like now you would just know beforehand.
Fear is coming to ECW.
Yeah. Just somebody would just show up and they're on the show and you're like, oh, okay, cool.
That's awesome.
Who's this guy dressed like a Dudley? And then he became part of the ring crew. He did. I think he stayed up at near the House of Hardcore. Became part of the ring crew. Did everything right.
Yeah.
And he definitely earned his stripes and earned the respect of the whole locker room.
Right.
From everybody. Everybody in the business, everybody who's a part of a show is important, from the ticket taker to the booker. So he did it the right way.
Robert Kelly wants to know, suppose someone in a new generation now asked you to pass the reins along to them for the Blue World Order. Would you do it?
First of all, who would want it? Well,
listen, to rebut that, every fucking show I watch, there's always a BWO t-shirt in the crowd, including at the front row at WrestleMania 38 this year, sir.
Yeah.
So,
yeah. That's my boy Kerry. He's like Mr. Collar and Elbow. He always rocks the collar and elbow shirts, front row WrestleMania, and he this year and last year he was very cool to wear my collar and elbow BWO inspired shirt, which is awesome. But well, we kind of did that with the BWO Japan,
right?
Depends on who would, like I said, like the best friends are probably somebody's like, who would you want to manage? be with the best friends and stuff like that. But to hand down the reins of the BWO, it's just like, there's been so many, we were the first, I want to say we were the first NWO inspired faction. There's been so many since then that it would just seem redundant at this point, just to say, hey, everybody goes, is Paul and Gene going to sell the rights to Kiss and have other people wear the outfits and stuff like that? Will we do that? I don't know.
Schlichter has another question. Coinciding with your upcoming appearances, where is your favorite meet and greet place to go?
Favorite meet and greet place to go? Again, I'm going to have to say ECW Arena because it's right around the corner from my house, and we do the Icons Fest at least twice a year.
Listen, before you continue, the next time I'm at Icons, you, me, Silk City, my treat, go ahead and continue.
Dude, I've been so spoiled. So many shows coming to the ECW Arena, and it's a 10-minute walk from my house. We went to Indiana, and I loved the trip. But you realize how spoiled you are. Not having to travel to go do things, but it was cool to go. It was cool to do the Square Circle Expo in Indy. That was a really good experience because when you do Icons of Philly, see some of the same wrestlers, but go out to Indy, see Wolfie D, see Flash Flanagan, guys who I haven't seen in forever. That was cool. I'm doing a convention in Tampa in September. That's going to be a lot of fun. But meet and greets. I hate to be a cop-out. It's going to have to be the ECW Arena because I've been there so often, and it's right around the corner from my house where, oh, shit, I forgot something. I'll be right back. I'll run home and get it. Just,
That's awesome.
And like I'm very at the point in my life where it's just like I weigh every fucking option with every booking. It's just like, is it worth it? Because getting older and recouping's a little bit harder. And just instead of being ready to go next day I'm just like, I think I'll take a hot shower. Yeah, just to loosen up and take some CBD and stuff like that. But I got people asking me for dates, and I'm just like, I don't know. I got a virtual signing coming up the May 15th or something like that in North Jersey, and that's going to be a lot of fun. I'll be with Francine and Kid Cash, and that'll be great.
Yeah,
and go to my social medias for that, which you'll probably be knowing this show. Will air after I fucking done it. So
no, this airs before. This will air before.
Okay,
so we're good.
Go to my
right
social media.
Pal.
Yeah, North Jersey. Me, Francine, Kid Cash at Captain's Corner. Let's go to my social media. I have all the information, but I love doing the virtual signings now. Where you're reaching people from all over the world, doing in stores, just signing stuff like that. But yeah, favorite meet and greet spot, it has to be the ECW Arena because, you do Icons, and then there's like a 2-hour, 3-hour break. You go to the Organ Diner or wherever to have some sit down and eat. Hold on.
Nice.
Seltzerless kiss. Yeah. Seltzerless kiss. And then they're the folks who do Battleground are kind enough to let me keep a table, at the during their show. And you go home and sleep in your own bed.
Yeah.
So I'm kind of spoiled by the ECW Arena. In many more ways than one, the ECW Arena has spoiled me.
Carl Hayes wants to know, who do you like in the Kentucky Derby if you were wagering?
The rabbit. Oh, that's dog racing. That's
the dog racing. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Got any good point? Got any tips? Yeah, bet on a rabbit.
Yep.
You know, don't piss against the wind and bet on a rabbit. I have no clue who is in the Kentucky Derby. I have a friend every year goes, "Hey, you want to come to my Kentucky Derby party?" I'm just like, brother. I don't think I have any goofy looking hats. You know, I think the Kentucky Derby is about wearing goofy hats, right?
Yeah.
Or something.
Yeah.
No, I'm not knocking it. It's just.
I used to go to a party in Bucks County with a friend of mine. And they would all have the hats and it was a big thing for them. And I was like, this is cool. Like, I'm not knocking it, but I don't really know anything about it. So it's, you know, I'm looking at the names right here, and there's a name, Happy Jack. He's got 30-1 odds. There's our guess.
Good for him.
Yeah.
I'll give him a little hair tussle.
Yeah.
I would like to go to a Kentucky Derby party the way somebody overseas wanted to listen to our all Philadelphia sports talk show, 2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
So it's just, okay, I guess I could skip this episode. Now, no knock on the Kentucky Derby. I just,
Yeah. Pod Squad member Anthony Camerata.
No, hold on. No offense to the person who asked that question either. I'm that's your passion. More power to you. But
yeah, and we appreciate the question, Carl.
Yeah. Yes. I'm not shitting on the thing you like. It's just not for me.
Pod Squad member Anthony Camerata asked, what is Meanie and Adam's favorite B movie? Have you ever seen the movie Kiss Meets the Phantom of the Park? It's like a cross between Kiss and Scooby-Doo.
Oh, absolutely. It's one of the best, worst movies ever. Dude, shout out to the McCuskers, Ryan and Dougie. They got a podcast called Prisoners of Rock and Roll, and they just did a whole thing on episode of Kiss. They talk about Kiss Meets the Phantom of the Park, and it is one of the best, worst movies ever. To where, between Kiss Meets Scooby-Doo is a perfect analogy.
Yeah.
But there's so points, I guess, Ace Frehley was so hammered that they had to get like a body double.
Wow.
And not only did they get a body double, a stunt double to fill in for Ace Frehley, but they picked an African American man who Ace Frehley is very Caucasian, and you see a guy in the Kiss suit, and you look at the hands, you're like, that's not Ace Frehley, because he was just so fucking hammered during the filming and the making of that they're like, somebody just put on a suit, please. Ace is out to lunch, but best favorite B movie. You go first. Let me ponder.
Let me think about this. I'm not really sure. I'm not sure if it's a B movie, but there's a great movie that I remember from when I was a kid called Brain Donors. It's from 1992. It's got John Turturro. It's basically it's trying to think of what it's like. It's almost like I'm trying to think of the name, what it can be compared to. It's just like it's an absurdist slapstick kind of movie, and it's just stupid funny. And it's always been one of my favorites from the time I was a kid. But it's basically about a tycoon he has a ballet company, and it's about these guys getting this dancer called the Great Valere to come in and dance. And John Turturro plays a guy named Roland T. Flackvisor, and it's like he's this not a criminal, but he's like this fake lawyer or whatever. Like he's just faking it until he makes it kind of thing. And God, it's fucking funny, man. It's one of my favorites, and I would say that's probably my favorite if I can call it a B movie. That would be the one I would go with. That's
my conundrum, because most people's B movies are my A movies.
Right, exactly. Yeah.
There's a movie called The Hidden.
Okay.
With Kyle MacLachlan, where these space aliens come to Earth, and it's kind of like Invasion of the Body Snatchers, where they take over bodies, and this alien cop is chasing this alien bad guy on Earth and overtaking the bodies and stuff like that. And the villain that he's chasing happens to love heavy metal and fast cars. And he's just jamming. But it's a really good movie. If you watch it, and then maybe another movie would probably be and I haven't seen this it's weird. You watch it. There's a movie you watch when you're a kid, and you're like, "Oh, it's the greatest movie of all time." And you go back and watch it, and you're like, "Wow, what the man? Has my taste improved?" It's a movie called Night Patrol.
Yes,
with Murray Langston, the unknown comic. But he doesn't have the bag on his head in this movie, and it's kind of like a takeoff. Airplane became the big, the movie everybody started copying. It's kind of like Airplane but a police force.
Yeah,
stuff like that. So I went back and watched it recently. I was like, because I found it on VHS. I was like, oh God, I found a hidden treasure, and I watch it. I'm like, But as a kid, Night Patrol was awesome. As an adult, The Hidden still stands up because I could pop that on. There's a Hidden 2 as well, but I haven't watched that. Kind of scared to watch that because I don't know if it's going to sully my love for the original, but as most sequels do. But I would say The Hidden with Kyle MacLachlan, who went on to be in Twin Peaks.
So there's a little bit of chatter in the pod squad here. Schlichter says his are the Army of Darkness, or Troll Hunter. And then Vanessa, is this the movie called The Worms in the Mouth? I believe is one that she is mentioning here. And Andrew Bailey mentioned one of my favorites, Heavyweights, which is basically
a B movie though.
I think so. It's a Disney film. I know it was in theaters, but I guess it could be a B movie. But one of my all-time favorites as a fat kid. Growing up in the 90s, nothing spoke to my life more than the film Heavyweights. One more I do want to mention here before we move to the next question.
Sure.
A little film called Basketball. Trey Parker and Matt Stone. It was written by David Zucker and directed by him. Wow, what a classic fucking movie. One of the best lines in the entire movie is when Cooper is trying to hit the free throws for the kid who is going in to have surgery, to have a liver replaced, or a kidney replaced, rather, and they get shit-faced on tequila the night before, and he misses the free throw. And I think it's not Al Michaels, it's Bob Costas goes, wow, the Lord must really have it in for that little boy. And I don't care how many times I see that flick, that shit pops me every single time. Fun fact, the guys that created that movie took the roles. Originally it was supposed to be Chris Farley is who he wanted in the movie, David Zucker. But he casted Trey Parker and Matt Stone took the movie because they thought South Park was going to be canceled by the time they started filming, which ended up becoming a, incredible mainstream hit. Vanessa says The Hidden has the aliens or the worms that enter through the mouth. Which one is that?
I want to say it's aliens because it's an intergalactic thing. And I don't want to give the spoiler away, but, there's an alien cop, and then there's a regular cop, but they're chasing this alien bad guy. It's aliens. So
aliens.
But I mean, like the thing that comes out of them looks like a worm kind of thing, but it's like it's from another planet or something like that. But it's really good. Fun fact: I watched Basketball. I want to say the night before one of the ECW Heatwave pay-per-views, because I went into Heatwave was in Dayton, Ohio. I have a friend, Jeremiah, who lives like right south of there near Cincinnati in Kentucky. And I stayed with him for a couple days, and I went out a couple days early, and we went to the amusement park there, and we watched baseball. Went to the amusement park, and I want to say it was Kings Island, maybe, whoever's in Cincinnati, and I fucking destroyed a family with a fart, just waiting in line for the Top Gun ride.
Oh my God.
We're going up these stairs, and Jeremiah and our mutual friend Brandy, rest in peace, who were ahead of me in line, and I had the fucking farts that I just fucking let one go, and Jeremiah looked behind me, and I didn't look back at the family, but his reaction to their reaction just had me like in tears laughing, because I was just like,
what the fuck?
Yeah, I'm surprised they had eyebrows. Afterward, just.
Meanie, let me ask you a question. Did
Yes.
Shaq get rich playing in Orlando?
What?
It's from basketball. Listen,
Oh,
did Shaq get rich playing in Orlando? No, he got rich in college. Everybody knows that. I love the little shit that they do through the movie like that. It's so fucking good.
My favorite part is like when they zoom down and supposedly it's supposed to be the guy's fucking dick swinging through the.
It's like, or what?
Yeah. Yeah. Fucking amazing.
Bolt Jameson, hashtag you never saw me, wants to know, do you have any truth on the rumor that Tom Green was going to be the one behind GTV? I know it was also rumored to have been GoldDust once the idea was nixed, but you were on a few of those segments, so you might have heard something.
It was going to be GoldDust. The G stands for GoldDust. So I knew about it before they were, going to air the skits, and eventually it was going to be revealed to be GoldDust. He was the supposed to be like the human Oscar and androgynous and stuff like that, but like he's going to kind of be like those, caught on camera kind of things. That's prevalent now with social media and stuff like that. It's kind of have ahead of its time, with everything TMZ does now and stuff like that. But that was going to be GoldDust, 100%.
Tom Green wasn't involved in that at all.
When I was there, I never heard anything about Tom Green. And GoldDust came to me and said, that's supposed to be us. That's supposed to be GoldDust, and I was part of GoldDust's gimmick. So, yeah, that was supposed to be, as far as I know, 100% supposed to be GoldDust.
ECWWrestling.com wants to know, was there anything planned originally for the talent to have a post-show farewell at the arena after the last original ECW show, which was December 23rd, 2000? If so, what would have been done? Something similar to what was done after the final show in Arkansas, or something else?
Nobody at the arena knew it was going to be the last arena show. It was just business as usual. Just we showed up. We did the show. Anything notable from that show was the Backseat Boys were backstage because they were about to come into ECW. Trent Acid, Johnny Cashmere. They were going to kind of be the next ECW tag team. Well, not tag team, but they were going to be a part of the tag team division because they were up and comers. They were doing really good stuff, and Nova had pitched for them, because they had worked for Nova's brother Donnie B in Jersey. Donnie B had a promotion, Phoenix Championship Wrestling, and he managed the Backseat Boys, and Nova started pulling for them to come into ECW. Just like Joey Matthews and Christian York and stuff like that, build up the tag division. So nobody knew that last ECW Arena show was going to be the last ECW Arena show, which when we found out ECW was going out of business, when we found out ECW was on, back when there was AOL and AOL Instant Messenger, me and Joel Gertner were fucking talking like, really? The last show's going to be in Arkansas? Which, no slight against Arkansas, but you were just at the ECW Arena.
Right.
If you're going to just pull the plug, to say fuck it and end it at the arena, it could have been that much more, symbolic and special, because I was, waiting to see if I was going to do that show. you know, I was calling Debbie. I was like, hey, am I doing this Arkansas loop? And she's like, no, we don't need you this week. All right. And then I find out online that, it's the last show. Me and Joel, were the first two people. At least Joel was the first person I talked to. And we're like, really?
That's
Arkansas.
That's how you found out that was online.
Online. Yeah.
Wow. I didn't know. I
Like,
would have thought somebody would have called you.
No.
Not at that point, right?
No.
Now, Paul had already jumped, though, right? Paul was already with WWF at that point when everything went under, or would that because I know.
Well, he was always with WWE.
Right.
I mean, he was in writing meetings, in the 90s, That's like when I came up with the Val Venis gimmick for Danny Doring, and me and Al Snow came up with the Val Venis gimmick for Danny Doring. Pitched it to Paul for Danny Doring, and then 2 months later, hello, ladies. Or I'm like, son of a bitch.
No way.
Yeah.
Holy shit.
We were in Boston. It was
Have you told that story before? Because I feel like that's breaking news here to me. Adam from Downingtown is shocked by this.
No, I'm sure I've told it, but I mean, while we're here, we're at the dog track in Revere, Mass. And me and Al are just watching the matches because there's the curtain, but there's a set of steps. You could go up a couple steps and you see over the curtain to watch the show. And we're watching Danny Doring. We're like, man, he's great. He's got that sleazy look, and we're just like, coming up with like movie titles, yeah. Hello, you might know me from my movies like Schindler's Fist. Which is, which I think we stole from Friends, but we came up with like a whole bunch of porn parody names. I'm the parody guy, so and we're like, yeah, he could come out with a spank towel, a spanker as a spoo drag. His finisher could be the money shot. And we went we went down and we talked to Danny, and then we went over to Paul. Paul shook his hand and goes, that's a great idea. You guys just came up with a great character. And then we didn't hear anything else about it. And then, 2 months. It was a couple months later. Hello, lady. The vignettes started airing. It's just like, oh my God.
Well, here
me and Al are like, son of a bitch.
I'm reading something online right now on WrestlingInc.com. Val Venis has said that Vince McMahon was the one who came up with the character, and I don't buy that.
No.
Not a chance. I could see Vince pissing himself about the idea of sounds like penis, pal. But
well, we didn't come up with the name.
But you came up with the porn star character.
Yeah, a porn star character in professional wrestling. Finisher, the money shot, come out, and Val Venis comes out with a towel wrapped around him, and it's just a fucking hell of a fucking coincidence.
Jeez.
That the exact outline for a character we pitched to Paul made it to WWE TV. And the kicker is when I went up to WWE, Val would come up to me asking for ideas for promos.
Wow.
I'd be sitting in the stands, staring at Sable's Titantron for the millionth time, wondering what I'm doing that night, and Val would find me hey Bluey, I got this match tonight. What could I say? Just all right. Who you working? Bouncing ideas off each other.
Wow.
Which just put another thought in my head. The reason why Sable got so much heat with the boys is every day, like when they were setting up the Titantron and all that stuff, and they needed to play a video to fucking test the Titantron. It was always Sable's fucking Titantron video.
Interesting.
I distinctly remember somebody going, man, can they play something else? I mean, they've been playing this because you're at the building, you're bored.
Right.
Can you put can we hook an Xbox up to that thing or a PlayStation and play some Madden or something? Just stuff like that.
Oh, that's funny.
I think that's one of the reasons why she got heat, because the boys were watching their Tron video sitting in the arena while they're trying to figure out what they're doing that night. But yeah.
Anthony Camerata's got another question. Does Meanie prefer being a heel or a face? And what does a heel Meanie look like? I can't imagine anybody wanting to boo him.
I started off as a heel.
He's a heel.
Goddamn.
Motherfucker.
Extra cheese.
Extra onions. Shout out to Conrad Thompson and Bruce Pritchard for providing us with an incredible Jim Cornette impression.
And shout out to Jim Cornette. I love Jim Cornette.
Shout out to Jim Cornette. I frequently listen to his commentary online, him and the great Brian Last. I'm typically always tuning into his stuff. So shout out to them.
Yeah. I mean, some people can't handle his message isn't bad. It's just I see where people would have problems with the package it's delivered in.
That makes sense.
Dude, I've been around Jim since 95.
Wow.
I met him as a fan, but like once I was in the business, when I was breaking in and stuff like that, he was always nothing but, funny and respectful to me, from pre-Blue Meanie all the way up to, we worked together in MLW for a little bit. So, but yeah, shout out to Jim.
I really enjoy his takes on stuff. Most of them. I don't agree with his Knoxville take from WrestleMania 38 because I fucking love the match and he hated it. But you're not always going to agree with everybody 100% of the time on their takes. But I mean, usually love him or hate him, he's got points. I don't know, man. I have plenty of look. If I base my friendship on people I agreed with, I have no fucking friends. Right. You know. I have friends who hate Van Halen. I love Van Halen, but fuck you. You're not going to be my friend anymore. Get the fuck out of here. Just Jim probably hated half the shit I did in ECW, but when we see each other, he's always cordial. It's one of those things I don't ask, Yeah. We don't talk about it. So I know he wasn't a fan of ECW. So anytime I see him, I don't talk about ECW. Right. But we talk about other things. So, I'm sorry. What was the question again? So the question was, what would a heel Blue Meanie look like? Yeah, I started off as a heel, but it kindly, people took to my character as a babyface after a while because, I was a heel when I was doing the parodies. Yeah. And we would get cheers. We were supposed to be the fucking heels, but people were supposed to be getting heat, but people start popping for us like baby faces, Baron Von Meanie and Baron Von Stevie and what was I? Colonel DeMeanie and Baron Von Stevie, BlueDust, all that stuff. They cheered for us, and then when the babyface came out, they cheered louder for the babyface because we were the heels. And then eventually we do our heel shit and we get booed. I like being a baby face just because that's just who I am. But like being a heel is definitely easier because heels can get away with making mistakes and still, if you're a baby face and you trip, that's hard to come by. Right. But if you're a heel and you trip, that's, good fucking heel fodder, because that gives a reason people to fucking laugh at you and heckle you even more. Heels can do so much more things than baby faces can do because baby faces they have to be on the side of good and they have to almost be perfect, so to speak. But I've been a heel, but the last time I was kind of heelish was when the BWO came back to WWE in 2005. In WWE, we were doing a show at the Mid-Hudson Civic Center in Poughkeepsie. And Stevie was working Scotty Too Hottie. And we were supposed to be heels, and Scotty was like, I don't know, man. This is like an ECW building. And we're like, yeah, I don't know. And we went out there, and they just cheered for Scotty louder, so we were the heels. And I got to work a little bit of he threw Scotty out, and I kind of ran out and, did the old heel stuff, when Stevie was distracting the ref and stuff like that. But, we were supposed to be the baby face. I was the baby face against JBL, and we were baby faces against Mexicools. Just that at night, it happened to be Scotty was more over, so we shifted to doing heelish stuff against Scotty Too Hottie. Zeus wants to know, Because I feel like I have to say Zeus like that. Zeus.
Yeah. Zeus.
Zeus. Did you have any ideas for the BWO back in the day you were sure would have been great but never materialized?
I don't know about BWO, but I was supposed to be, like, I pitched ideas, like, before the BWO, like, Stevie wanted to be Rob Van Darn and Sablou. And we pitched it to Rob and Sabu, and they're like, all right. Yeah, we come out as them, and they just come out and destroy us. And I had Sabu fucking pants made up by Linda Rufa, who's the photographer who was making Sabu's gear at the time. She made me a pair of blue sparkly Sabu pants.
That's awesome.
It just never came to be.
Do you still have those blue sparkly Sabu pants?
No, because I kind of started wearing them after, and I destroyed them. I think,
man,
I might still have them around somewhere.
That's amazing.
Mrs. Meanie might have started wearing them, just as a rib. But I might still have them somewhere around here. But that, and I was going to, I pitched it, after, post BWO, when I was, still trying to find my way. I pitched Meanie the Dancing Machine from the Gong Show. If there's a lull in the show, hit the music, and I just come out and as like Gene the Dancing Machine from the Gong Show, who would just come out and dance randomly. I wanted to be Meanie the Dancing Machine, and Paul popped for it. It just never came to be.
Top guy Michael Amen wants to know, I've seen many of Meanie's and or the BWO matches, but can Meanie recommend his favorite match he was in during his ECW run and explain why? Would love to watch that recommendation. Thank you for all that you do.
A little inside baseball where we're doing a double shot today.
Double shot Wednesdays on WMMR. Everything that rocks.
Yeah. So yesterday was the 24th anniversary of WrestlePalooza 98, where me and Nova wrestled the FBI on ECW pay-per-view, which both me and Nova consider one of our crowning achievements because it was post-BWO. Stevie had gone to WCW. Stevie Raven went to WCW. Me and Nova kind of had to ride the bench for a little bit because Paul's like, I'm going to put these guys on TV and they'll run the WCW too. What the fuck? And then once he realized we weren't going to WCW with the rest, with Stevie and Raven, they start using us. And, we didn't know we were wrestling the FBI until we got to the building that night. We got to the Cobb County Civic Center and these guys are opening up the pay-per-view, So if you go to the cock and load up WrestlePalooza 98, that's probably me and Nova, both look back on that match very fondly, as a crowning achievement because that was our breakout post BWO as a tag team against the FBI.
Let's see, what else do we have going on here? Give me 1 second. Having some delays here in my screen. Why is this frozen? I'll cut this part out. Give me 1 second, guys.
Yeah.
Let's go to the next question here. Mark and Dryden's got a good one for you. What do you two, he's got one for us, it looks like. What do you two think of Jimmy Smith's announcing? Seems like he has some wrestling knowledge, and whenever he's not sure of the name of the move or the hold, Corey and Byron cover for him. Also, his MMA background seems to cover things he's unsure of as well. I
like him.
Me too.
Yeah, I like him the way I like Morrow. He brings a sense of excitement to it, some realism. I like him just the way I liked Morrow because they brought a different perspective to the product, and he's in good company with Corey, and so I like him. Simple as that.
Yeah,
he's good.
Yeah, I think for me, it's like it's the same thing. It's I like the idea of having someone from a different world coming in to do commentary because it does give you a separate. Because Corey Graves is from the world, right? Like he was a wrestler, so he has that background and that ability. I feel like Byron Saxton is the same way. Michael Cole's been doing it since the beginning of time, and Pat McAfee is just an absolute fucking gem. But Jimmy Smith is somebody different. He's unique. He's got a very good broadcasting voice, I think, is what I look for in everybody. You know, they're very distinct. You can recognize his voice as soon as he starts talking. So I don't know. I enjoy him. Let's see. Looks like we got one more question here today. Bob Porter wants to know any funny James Mitchell stories. You guys do a good job. Great job, actually. Thanks.
The good Reverend Jim Mitchell, big fan. I was a fan of him when he was in Smoky Mountain as oh my God, can't think of his Smoky Mountain name, but I actually stole a line from him. He did a promo in Smoky Mountain, and he's like, "I would rather go bobbing for apples in a colostomy bag than." And every time I see him, I was like, dude, I love that line. That was such a great line. But Mitchell's probably one of the most underrated managers in wrestling. You know, just from a cadence, voice, look. He's got a great look. He could talk. He's a great storyteller. He comes up with, I want to say, all of his own stuff, as far as, in character, and, he should be, he's definitely underrated, I'm trying to think, we did a few things together in ECW, like towards the end, when I went back as the Blue Boy. We did the promo before, Heatwave 2000, where I'd become Skinny Meanie, and, we did our promo, and it, the camera turned around, and there's Jim Mitchell saying, "I sold my soul," because, now here I am, now the skinny Blue Meanie, and stuff like that. And I love the stuff he did with Mikey, where they're lighting the ring bell on fire and just doing all the evil shit, stuff like that. But, a great one-on-one story. Just the fact that, he's probably one of the smartest guys around, one of the best talkers around. You could probably have a conversation with him about anything. Him and Sandman would have like, smart offs where I'm going to name a country on the 37th parallel or whatever. And you'd have to fucking guess and shit like that. So, great guy, great manager, totally underrated.
I actually have one more for you here because this is a good one, and I'm not sure I've ever asked this one.
Sure.
Hoover Jeremiah wants to know, Meanie, if you could make any two foods, 0 calorie and 0 carb, but they'd still taste the same, what would they be? Fucking fantastic question, Hoover.
Yeah. Big Rube's fried chicken. There's a dude in in Philly. He's not just South Philly, but there's a guy, Big Rube, Chef Big Rube. Every Wednesday he has a pop-up kitchen here in South Philly on Wednesdays, and he has like some of the best fried chicken I've ever eaten in my entire life. Follow him on Instagram at Chef Big Rube, and you can get his schedule and stuff like that if you're in the Philly area. He does Philly, Manayunk, South Philly. He's all over the place. Yeah, Big Rube, holla. He's always calling in the WIP on the morning show. He's a big Pittsburgh Steelers fan. But like he's cooked for everybody. But if I could have his chicken, 0 calories, 0 carbs, and I'll go for a snack like peanut M&Ms or Reese Cups. If I could have those 0 calories, 0 carbs and not get diarrhea, that would be awesome.
I would say, if I can answer this question, a double animal style from In-N-Out. If that was 0 calorie and 0 carb, man, I'd fucking have 6 of them at one shot.
Those are good. That's good.
Man, I'll be out in Vegas again at some point, hopefully this summer, and I literally cannot wait to get off the airplane and go right to fucking In-N-Out with my rental car. Going right fucking there. What else? What gotta be a good one?
That's like me when I make my detour through Ohio to get a Kewpie burger.
I literally, when I went last summer to California, the first thing I said to my wife, I said, we are landing. We're checking in at the hotel. Actually, we didn't even check in at the hotel. because we weren't able to get there until like, I think the check-in was like 2 or 3. And I said, the first place we're going as soon as we get the rental car is In-N-Out. And I'm going to fucking stuff my face. And I ordered extra so I could eat it the following morning. And then I went again. Fucking love that place, dude. I probably spent $70 easy at In-N-Out. Like that whole, we were only there for like 5 days. And I probably spent it there.
Remember when, like, out of nowhere, somebody found an In-N-Out burger wrapper in New York City or something like that?
Yeah.
Or they found an In-N-Out burger.
Uh-huh.
Just randomly on the ground in New York City, and nobody had a fucking clue why it was there or something. Something like that. I know I'm probably fucking it up, but yeah, In-N-Out burger is really good. When I'm out in California, I go to get In-N-Out, In-N-Out burger or Carl's Jr.
Yeah, I used to do Carl's Jr., but since going to Vegas for the first time and finding the In-N-Out, I just hit there. I know Kerry Getz, the skateboarder, he had an Instagram post a couple years ago where he had somebody ship him out In-N-Out and Del Taco. I think he paid like $140 for like literally air overnight shipping for the food, which, I mean, it's fucking worth it. I would have definitely done that too. But yeah, I can't think of any other one I would want to eat besides, if it's 0 calories, 0 carb, man. Give me the fucking animal style double-doubles all fucking day. But
everybody's expecting me to say cheesesteaks, which is true.
Oh,
but
yeah. Maybe I would do that too.
But Big Rube's chicken, man.
Yeah.
Oh.
Maybe Waffle House too. I'd probably throw that in there. Something from Waffle House. But I mean, if you're asking me, it's In-N-Out. And Meanie, I have been happy to ask you all of the questions from the Pod Squad and our listeners from Twitter, from Facebook, maybe from Instagram. Who knows? From all over the planet, all walks of social media life. Ask Meanie Anything 4 has been a popular raging success. Thank you so much for answering these questions. And Blue Meanie,
that was fun.
Where can they find you on social media?
You can find me on all forms of social media: Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, and TikTok, which I'll get to one day. At Blue Meanie BWO. You can follow me on all forms of social media there. If you would like to support the Blue Meanie, go to prowrestlingtees.com/Blue Meanie. You can get yourself a BWO shirt, BWO guitar pick. You can get a shoot video where I give you a cameo style well wish. Or if you just want to keep it old school and go to Cameo, go to cameo.com/Blue Meanie BWO. I just did some very interesting ones this week. So if you want to keep me on my toes, hit me over at cameo.com/Blue Meanie BWO. If you want to look fashionable like I do, go to collarandelbowbrand.com. Use promo code Meanie, save 10%. Rod Hicks and Al Snow are doing an amazing job over there at collarandelbowbrand.com. They just had a little bit of a relaunch, so go check out their new stylish pro wrestling shirts. They're so comfortable. They use the best quality t-shirts at collarandelbowbrand.com. If you would like to not only look fashionable, but smell good and look good, go to madcatbeardcare.com. Get yourself some of the blue spruce, some Blue Meanie themed beard care. They're doing great stuff over there as well. If you're a big cat supporter like I am, go to madcatbeardcare.com. Get yourself the blue spruce. Get yourself a little beard comb like I use each and every day. Not noticeable today because, I just kind of woke up a little bit ago. But I will be using my Mad Cat Beard Care beard comb in a few minutes as soon as we log off. But speaking of logging off, Mr. Bernard, where can we find you?
Well, thank you, Mr. Meanie. I appreciate you. You can find me on Instagram and Twitter at ThisIsGoober. Yes, that is my handle. No, I'm not changing it. It's a brand, pal. You can also check out my other show, Foundation Radio, by going to foundationradio.net and find me on all the platforms, anywhere you can, including iHeartRadio. You can also support that show by going to prowrestlingtees.com/foundationradio. Pick yourself up a shirt. Also support this show by going to patreon.com/mindofthemeanie. You can also pick up a shirt at prowrestlingtees.com/mindofthemeanie and go support the show there. Become a member of the Pod Squad. Follow us on Twitter and on Instagram at mindofthemeanie. Blue Meanie. It is always a pleasure to get to spend this time with you, as well as the Pod Squad. Yay. For the Blue Meanie, I'm Adam Bernard. Join us again each and every week as we take a trip through the mind of the Meanie. Peace.
This episode of Mind of the Meanie was recorded and produced by Adam Barnard and was engineered by Carl Pinnell. Additional production and narration provided by Sam Krebs. Our executive producers are Josh Chernoff, Adam Barnard, and the Blue Meanie. Our opening theme is performed by the Swamp Candles. Our closing theme is performed by Chikara. The show contains original music produced by Enrichment. Get additional bonus content by becoming our patron on Patreon at patreon.com/mindofthemeanie. And follow us on Twitter and Instagram at Mind of the Meanie. This has been a Butts Carlton media production in conjunction with the MLW Radio Network. Butts Carlton, proprietor.
Blue World Order.
Dad, why is Blue Meanie's brain out?
The world of MLW radio never stops.